Script started. Dependencies loaded. Booting Series 13 of the Year of Shame Challenge. Please wait.
Hello and welcome to the latest episode of Year of Shame. Yes, that podcast you meant to unsubscribe from. You're still with us. Tough shit. Welcome. I'm Brian, and with me we have Paul. Say hello, Paul.
Hello there.
And we have Ben.
Good morning/evening. How you doing?
I'm good. What's been happening with you guys since we last spoke? And I don't mean 10 minutes ago, but who wants to go first? Ben?
Yeah, go on then. Yeah, so it's been a weird setup for us with a bit of late recording on a couple of months due to life getting in the way and the joys of being an adult. It's been another busy month. I know I said last month was crazy with going to America and stuff like that, and when last spoke. But this month's been just as mad as well, with birthdays, visiting such great things as a pirate festival of all things in Brixham and pretending to be a pirate for a weekend, which was fun. Been to Legoland, went to Bristol for work, caught a cold and flu as everyone knows. Sorry we're late again because of me, because I was in bed, basically just feeling sorry for myself on my Steam Deck. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it, apart from the fact that I managed to have a mild car crash whilst driving to the pirate festival, but that's all fine and sorted now. That was the biggest thing of the month, I think. Otherwise, it's been quite a decent month. Nice, it's been sunny, it's been all right to deal with. So yeah, it's been all good. How about yourself, Paul?
I've not been doing a massive amount, really. Been going to the gym, just try to keep fit, just going once a week. I used to go all the time before COVID, and then since COVID, or COVID times, I've just dropped off completely and haven't been going. But I've actually enjoyed going back and just doing once a week. Been doing a bit of work in the garden, the front of the house. It's got like pebbles, like a gravel out at the front, and the old lining had failed. So all the stones had to come off and reline it all. And there were a little bit of grass to the right-hand side of the door. Real pointless piece of grass. It was like 1 metre length by about, 45 centimetres wide. So that all came up and that got gravelled. I mean, you wouldn't even bother to take a lawnmower to it. It was just such a pointless piece of grass. Talking of gardening, I had a neighbour knock on my door. It's not the one that lives left or right to us. They actually live beyond our garden, so like in the next garden across from us. He says he was doing some work on some trees. And as it happens, I was playing Baldur's Gate at the time. And I went round and gave him a bit of a hand. In fact, lent him some tools to do it. I've got like a big lopper thing for chopping trees down. So I lent him that and got chatting to him a little bit. And guess what? He's a big Baldur's Gate fan as well. He's currently 170 odd hours into it. So I met a new neighbour and I met a new gamer as well, which was good. So yeah, but other than that, not been doing a great deal. Doing some cooking yesterday because we've got a guest coming round this evening, friends. We're making a curry. I've made the ice cream the other day as well, doing Nutella with Ferrero Rocher in there. And made it all from scratch using an ice cream maker. It's really nice. We've done it before. And I made a Turkish Delight ice cream as well using rose water. And I've never used rose water before, but that's what's in Turkish Delight. Okay, but I thought I'll test this, rose water. It's obviously like really nice, pure Turkish Delight flavour, but wow, man, it just burnt my mouth. It's just not something you'd think it was. It was a totally extreme flavour. And I actually got worried about using it in the ice cream. But when you obviously mix, say, like 3 teaspoons into 600 millilitres of liquid and add lots of sugar and all the rest of it, wow, man, that is Turkish Delight. Yeah, fantastic. So yeah, but
vanilla essence does the same thing.
Yeah.
It burns your mouth out when you use it, but you put it in something, it's absolutely fine.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? I thought I was going to get the ultimate Turkish Delight experience, but I, nearly choked to death instead. So it wasn't such a delight at the time. So
is that Turkish Delight? Isn't the Cadbury's Turkish Delight or the real Turkish Delight?
It's a mix of both, actually. I got some Turkish Delight from Waitrose as part of like a Christmassy gift, like a little stocking filler. And the problem is with the Turkish Delight from Waitrose is that it's got pistachio nuts in there. So I had to literally chop out all the pistachio nuts, so it made it like a tutti frutti sort of thing, so you have little squares of Turkish Delight, because otherwise when you freeze them nuts, you're gonna lose a tooth or a filling basically when you try to chew down on it. So we don't want no injuries or a bill for the dentist. So, but then as well, I got some Turkish Delight, the fries ones.
That's it.
Like the ones you buy in a newsagents, and I chopped one of them up as well. So it's got a mixture of both a bit of proper Turkish Delight and fries Turkish Delight as well. Fantastic.
We don't want any frozen nuts.
No, definitely not.
When you mentioned the neighbour and Baldur's Gate going at the tree, I was thinking he's going to say they found a treasure chest underneath the tree.
That would be cool, yeah.
No such thing.
No, that'd have been good.
He said I was playing Baldur's Gate at the time, so I went around to give him a hand and I took around a tree lopper and stuff. I'm like, hang on, was this Baldur's Gate or real life? I mean, it could be either.
Yep, this is true. So yeah, fantastic.
The most important thing is, so when can we come for dinner? Most importantly, because that sounds really nice. So I'm always up for a curry.
Well, the curry, we make it from scratch. I watch a YouTube channel. Like anything, like our idea of Chinese food is not really probably what you get in China. We get British Chinese food. So it's the same with Indian food, really. I watch a YouTube channel, a guy called Latif. It's like spelled Latiff. And he has his own Indian restaurant. And the class it as British Indian restaurant style food. So he shows you how he would cook it for the guests and how the average person in the UK probably anticipates a curry to arrive. And he does some absolutely amazing ones, and I've followed them. And he does quite a few called one pot curries. In other words, as you probably know, when you can be making some of these things, there can be a lot of doing this, taking that out, doing this, putting another thing in. This is all just about, you start off with one pot, you just keep putting things in, stirring it, adding the things in. And at the end of it, you get a really nice curry rather than going around all the faff. And you can put a curry together in probably, 25, 30 minutes. So no problem at all. But obviously it takes a bit longer than that because obviously you got to let it settle. And, you kind of want it the next day really to get all the best flavours out of it. But yeah, that Latif, if anyone wants to make any curries, watch that guy. He knows what he's talking about. He's got his own restaurant. I've cooked them. They're brilliant.
I've literally just screwed that down. There we go.
Are we getting any commission for this?
I'm not sure if he'll give you any cut of his YouTube channel, but you never know.
Latif, you've been mentioned, my friend.
From the one listener that will click the link, what I've been up to, I haven't mentioned before, but I work over here. I work in schools. I help kids learn English or use English, basically. And between high-fiving 100 to 150 kids each day and playing a lot of Returnal, I've given myself carpal tunnel syndrome. And now I've got a brace, which apparently looks like a Nintendo Power Glove. Thank you, Paul. But
it does.
It's sort of affected my gaming, to be honest. But I've been wearing it for about 2 weeks, and I can sort of use my hand now. But for a while there, it was a bit like the dead man's hand out of The In-Betweeners. I felt like somebody else actually cared about me. It was great. I'm wondering if anybody will actually get that.
No.
There's a thing called Kancho. Have you heard of this? I think it's not One Piece. One of the anime over here, Naruto. If you've heard of Naruto.
No, Naruto, yeah.
And I had my first ever Kancho where they have their hands like a gun, and then they come up behind you and then try to do a rectal examination. So I had my first Kancho after 3 years or 2.5 years working in the school. From a little girl, when I turned around, there was a little girl. She was like 6, and sniggering, falling by the place laughing. She thought it was hilarious. It's something you're warned about if you go working with kids, that they'll do this to you. The only other thing we had in school is that with an earthquake drill, they take them really serious. So we like 300 kids all coming out of the school, down the stairs, not one word was said. They were all really silent. They all have to go out to the playground and line up and get their names done, but they all have cushions for the seats. But these cushions, if there's an earthquake there or a fire, the cushions open up and they can put them on their head. And then when they reverse them, what is now the outside or was the inside before is like a silver foil, keeps the heat away from their head. But you've got all these kids coming down the stairs, and all with what looks like KKK hats on. So they're all coming down the stairs and going out. That's really, really weird. But none of the kids are messing or playing. They're all really, really serious. And I'm at the bottom of the stairs waving at them all. And none of them wave back because the teacher gave out to them.
That's, isn't it? Like, you think about how serious that's being taken, and like over here, it wouldn't be taken serious at all. It'd be an absolute free for all. There'd be people chucking shoes at each other. There'd be fire alarms going off for no apparent reason. It's like, and the place would have burnt down, or the earthquake would have happened by the time someone's found their copy of Fortnite or something. I don't know. It'd be mental, to be honest, over here. But yeah, there's that kind of, everyone takes stuff so seriously. It's brilliant, especially from a kid's point of view.
We have a fire drill later in the year. I'm looking forward to that one because that can be quite fun. But they did the earthquake drill. They do it twice. So you do it in the morning, and then you do another one later in the afternoon. And that one was tied in with the. So this is a primary school, and the other one was there was one done in the local secondary school as well at the same time. And the parents have to come and collect the kids. So it's all part. So it's done as though an earthquake did happen, and the parents have to go and collect the kids from the secondary school first, and then they come down to the elementary school and collect the kids from the elementary school. So we're standing there for ages outside in the playground waiting for the parents to turn up. Play almost an hour before all the kids got to go home. Their parents come to collect them. So the parents have to take time off work to come and collect. Really weird. So they're really, really strict about running this type of thing. I think that's about all that's been happening. Yeah, today is Saturday and I'm just back from work. Mentioned to you earlier, there's a 6-day work week, so Monday to Saturday. That's normal over here. So you can be expected to work Saturdays. Schools occasionally go into work on Saturdays and then you have the Monday off. I was working today. I sound a little bit tired, that's why. And I've got Monday off. Yay. Went travelling. I went to visit an area in the mountains again. It's called Hakuba. It's a really rural area up in the mountains. It was 25 degrees here when we left and it was below 12 when we got up there. But they still have snow on the ground and people are still going skiing. I had to go up on ski lifts. I am scared of heights. They really freak me out. I hate ski lifts. But we enjoyed it up there. I was up there for a couple of days. Anyway, that was enough. That's all my...
We go on. I have to ask, were you saying about going in ski lifts and stuff like that when you went for your break? I've got the same thing. I am terrified of heights. I don't trust cable cars. I need to know how you got past it. We're going into the fjords in August for my wife's 40th. And there's a place there called the Leon or Low End Sky Lift, I think it's called. And it goes literally up the side of one of the fjords. But the views you get from it are ridiculous. You can see a glacier and stuff, but you're on this thing for 5 minutes. And I genuinely am not sure how I'm going to cope. Unless they do the whole Mr. T thing with me and just knock me out at the bottom. Like the whole getting on the plane thing.
Even getting into them, because they don't stop. They just move. These things are moving. They're on the gondola, I think. And they just keep moving the whole time. You've got to jump into a moving thing. Oh, what the fuck? What happens if I fall? Most of it is okay because it's just going up. But when you pass another one, or they go through there's like stands who support the cables every so often. When you hit them, the whole thing judders and shakes. You're like, it's going to fall off. It's going to fall off. And there was 5 of us in this one going up. And there was 2 other guys in there, and they were shaking like hell as well. And I thought, excellent. I'm not the only one. Like, I can't even stand up a ladder. That's one of the reasons I love Mirror's Edge. It scares the shit out of me. When the character starts falling, you get this wind going past you. My hands are sweating playing that game. Anyway.
Possibly therapy for me going on this or not, I'm not sure. So I'll stab it.
Yeah.
I desperately want to do it, but I'm terrified. Obviously, this is a bigger thing. It's like one of the 10, 20 people in it at a time sort of thing, like a little car with doors and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just scared of getting halfway up there and having a panic attack or something, or knock my own heart out of rhythm would just be brilliant. And I'm stuck at the top of a mountain like it. It's just like, well, the rest of my family have booked it, and it's just like, just don't go. And like, I could just sit on the boat, or it's like, I can go somewhere else or go for a wander. So I might do that and just give my wife my Canon DSLR and go take nice photos, please. Teach her how to use it beforehand, because I'm not sure she's used it before.
You need to get yourself one of the big anchor chargers. It's 2 cables. If your heart starts to go out of rhythm, they can try and reset it by holding the cables against your chest and go, get here, and zap you back.
It's like, why have you got like a Volvo truck battery under your arm? Don't worry about it, all right? It's between me and the battery.
It is definitely worth it. I love the views up there, and the air is so clear. It's really, really good. But yeah.
Again, it might surprise me. I'll just surprise them and turn up. It's like, oh, I'm here. It's just like, you want to go back down? No, never again. I now live here.
That's it. Like, if I get to the top of the ladder, coming back down is another fucking trauma. I don't know. I can see the look of disgust from Paul. It's either that or his NVIDIA thing has changed his eyes to look like that.
That's it. They're always on you for this NVIDIA thing.
It's approval tick box.
Yeah, okay. We'll move on from my failings to games completed. Who wants to go first? My list is quite short.
Go on, Paul. You go first, mate.
I've not completed any games. I've been playing quite a few games. Do we talk about them afterwards, or?
Go anyway if you want to. Yeah, go for it.
Go for it, yeah.
Okay. I was going to ask Ben just before this, and it came to mind. Did you get any clarity on your Division 2 Gold Pass with regards to the new DLC?
Oh, yeah, good point. So give context on this. There's something of Brooklyn DLC coming out, I think, at the end of this month. Big season thing everyone's been waiting for. I have the Ultimate Edition of Division 2. You would assume all the DLC comes with that. It's like, oh, great, surely it will do. So you look on the website and there's like, oh, the Ultimate Edition comes with this thing. And you're like, oh, great, I'm going to get the DLC with it. Turns out if you've owned the old Ultimate Edition, it's not quite ultimate enough and you don't get it. So you have got to pay 15 quid for the privilege to pay something but still in an Ultimate Pass if you buy it now. So that's really frustrating.
You haven't got the ultimate.
No, I haven't got the Ultimate. Mine's just the standard Ultimate, which appears isn't that Ultimate. But hey, who knew?
That's very Ubisoft, is that?
Oh, totally.
I mean, ultimately though, I mean, is that from Ubisoft's mouth, or is that just?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Oh, that's disgusting. I call it.
There was a load of people who were asking for clarification, like online sites and things, and it was going round. There was exactly the same question as I just started blurting out on the Messenger chat a couple of days ago about, it better not charge me, I'm really frustrated by this. And then it just got clarified very quickly that it's like, oh yeah, if you own the old Ultimate, it doesn't count as Ultimate anymore. That was kind of whenever it came out, 2018 or whatever it was. But, I mean, people have the flip side of it, people have come back and gone, well, it's 10 hours worth of gameplay at least, and they're asking like 15 quid for it. And I'm like, well, okay, but I own £100 edition of this game. So why, okay, I'm not going to lie, it was on Epic Games for a tenner at Christmas. So, I mean, I can't really whinge too much. But, but at the same time, it's kind of frustrating. It's that same situation again, as it's Ultimate until someone decides they want to make more money from it, which is a bit annoying. But frankly, I mean, I think the most frustrating thing is if it was kind of just an update and it did it and the game ran, I could probably play it this year because my friends and I love The Division. We've played 140 odd hours and completed the whole game start to finish with all the DLCs. So whether it is Warlords of New York expansion and stuff like that, we've done all that as well. But now, realistically, I need to wait until January unless I use my Joker up on it, which sucks a bit because we're looking forward to it. We are currently playing the first one though, so I guess we've gone back and we're dealing with all the bugs that were removed from 2 by playing the first one, which is kind of frustrating, but still a good game. But annoying.
Ubisoft really blow hot and cold. I mean, for example, this exact month, they released a free update to Far Cry 4. I know it's not an expansion as such, but some companies charge, well, for example, Sony likes to charge £10 for those kinds of upgrades. So you would think to yourself, someone that's bought the Ultimate one in comparison to a Far Cry 4 upgrade, I mean, admittedly, it's more of an uplift in frames per second, etc., but it does breathe massive new life into that game. You would think that they would give you, I would have thought if you'd have paid £100 for something, you'd definitely got the DLC, but that's pretty mean of them, I would say. Definitely mean of them.
It's a shame.
It is.
I mean, it's an older game, and you think about the player count they still got on that game. If you go on there or look at the servers, they're all still packed. Because they do kind of these monthly like challenges and little events and kind of like side missions kind of thing they add to it still. The player base is huge. I mean, we've played, I say, like 130 odd hours. And you go on there and like the level we're at is, I don't know, like a fifth of some of these people on there. And you're like, my God, how long have you spent on here? It's absolutely sodding ridiculous kind of thing. And this guy just stood in a ghillie suit. It's like, if you look at me the wrong way, I will die. And that's it. This guy is like so powered up. So, I mean, there was people who were just investing monumental time into it. Anyone listening, if you have played Division 2, how far are you into it, sort of thing. But it's a fantastic game, and they'll get away with doing it, I should imagine. But as you say, it's the hot and cold thing. It's just bizarre. You thought you would get it, but no. It's almost like Ubisoft and EA have like put up together like just specific departments just to see who could be the shittest alternatively. It's just like, oh, EA have like completely sacked it off this month. We better be complete arseholes. Okay, cool, let's go.
Yeah, consider how long the game's been out. I can understand parts because it's been out a long time and it's a DLC that's come very late. But if you bought the Ultimate Edition, they do seem to suggest you're all in. You've done your thing, you've paid your amount, and whatever comes next is yours. So no, it's pretty mean of them, I would say, for sure. I have been playing Far Cry 4, which got a free Ubisoft upgrade. I had it on disc. It's something that's been sat in my cupboard for a long time. I wouldn't really ever play it on PlayStation because of the 30 frames per second. I'm not a big fan of 30 frames per second. I find it quite a chore to play. But yeah, what a nice injection it has given it new lease of life. 60 frames per second, 1080p, runs nice and smooth. The game's still good. Probably put about 10 hours into that. Been playing other games as well. Been setting up a little bit of VR because the guests that are coming around this evening are friends. They want to try VR. They've never tried VR. So I've got the Resident Evil VR set up for them and the Star Wars VR set up for them.
You horrible man.
I barely used the VR, to be honest. Barely used it. It's one of them things, it really is a dust collector. I didn't pay full price for it. I mean, if I had to pay full price for it, I'd be crying right now. But yeah, it's...
Is the curry hot that you're making?
It is actually, yeah. I mean, I like a hot curry.
I'm just saying, it's either going to be the curry or Resident Evil in VR is going to give them the shit. It's just, they're going to be, oh my God.
Yeah. This is it. I could be setting myself
I
up.
mean, it's an introduction to VR. That is cruel.
It is.
It's just got Alien Isolation out at the same time, right?
Absolutely.
You need to record them. You should record them so you can play it back to them later on.
It's always weird. You watch anybody play VR, it's weird because it's like, obviously they've got the helmet on and they're trying to do things in their world. It's like watching some crazy mind. It's good. But you can watch it on TV. If you leave the TV on, you can watch the TV, what they're up to. I find the hardest thing with VR, man, is the setting it up and getting it right and focused and all the rest of it. You've got this thing to twist at the back. You've got another bit on to zoom it in and out here a little bit to fine tune it. Then you can pull it backwards and forwards as well. Man. And then, do you know what? It really perhaps there's a button on there, but I hadn't seen it. But it does work in the respect of if you're setting it up for the room, it will show you the room and it looks really so cool when you set it up. And it you look around the room and it matrixifies everything in the room, so it analyzes all the different surfaces, etc.
Oh, cool.
But the problem is, I'll get a message on my phone. I've got to take the thing off my face, take a look at my phone. I got to pull it out a little bit to go, and then to set it all back up and get it perfect on your face again, it becomes a real chore. But they need a button on there so you can just look at your phone. But yeah, so I'm setting.
Okay, the notifications pop up there.
Yeah, I've set that up. I'll tell you one good thing about it though. It does have what we call a big screen mode as well. So if you want to play any game on there, you can play it as if you're on a huge cinema screen. I mean, like a huge cinema screen, one that's almost too big for your vision. You can bring it down in size as well. So it's more like playing on, say, an 80-odd inch TV. But this thing's as if you're playing it on, say, 140-inch TV or something. And the games do work really well. I was playing Far Cry on it, which is a good game, Far Cry 4. But the only problem is with the VR is it's having it on your face for too long. It really does grip your face. I mean, it's really bad. And when you take it off, you got a big mark on your face. It looks odd. If you had to go down and answer the door to a neighbour or something, they'd be wondering what you'd been up to. This big red mark, this big odd mark around your face as well. So yeah, I've been doing that. I've been playing some other stuff as well. I've been playing Baldur's Gate 3. I was originally about 20 hours into that game, or maybe even less. I could be, if it'd been 20 hours, I might even have been 10 hours or so in the game. And I decided to put it back on, let's give it another go. And I've probably had another 60 hours that I've put into the game. Really, absolutely loving it. I got to a point in the game where it says to you, this is like a point of no return. Certain things will happen if you continue past this point. So the good thing is on the quest system, it tells you when you go to that point of no return, which quest you've automatically failed. So what I did, I made a note of the quest I'd failed. I went back to my save game and went back and did all them quests and then went back to that point afterwards, which I thought was really good because it gave you the chance to go explore all the areas that you thought you were going to fail or all the little quests you knew you was going to fail. And been really enjoying it, really lapping it up, enjoying all the different areas and all the different parts. But yeah, I've been playing that, been playing some Xenoblade Chronicles 3 in the garden. That's been good. Get the Switch out, sit in the garden, have a chill out. That's an excellent RPG game. And obviously been playing a bit of Ollie Ollie, which we'll chat about in a bit, I guess. And what else have we been playing? I tried to install Divinity Original Sin 2 on my Steam Deck. It was just so PC-ish. It just wouldn't install properly. Got it to work once, but it wouldn't take my cloud save across. I've got it on what they call GOG, which is Good Old Games. Yeah. So it is a PC version, blah, blah, blah. It's an official version. But you have to use like a third-party launcher to get it to work, to initialize it on a Steam Deck. Just wouldn't have it. But then it dawned on me afterwards, this is probably 2 weeks later, that I've actually got Divinity Original Sin 1. So perhaps what I should have tried afterwards is just to try to install Divinity Original Sin 1. But there again, I'm only going to play them after I finish Baldur's Gate 3, which, might be next year at this rate. So, but yeah, those are the games I've been playing, some good ones. What have you been playing, Brian?
I was cheering when you said you hadn't finished any games because I was like, yes.
Yeah.
Because I've played hardly any because of my wrist. I was playing more Returnal Work Restart to the Heart, so I thought I'll play an ICT game. So I used the Elden Ring, which I have I've actually got 290 hours in and I haven't finished. I am at the areas where the giants are. I'm about 2/3 the way through, I think. So I played a bit more of that until my wrist started to give me too much grief. I stopped playing games for about 2.5 weeks. I couldn't even hold a mouse. So I've got to the point I can use the touchpad on the laptop I've got here. So I started playing Firewatch, and I finished. So I finished one game. I started that game originally when it first came out. I got so annoyed with the main character. What's the story? He's in America. His wife has Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
He gets under a lot of pressure looking after the family, step in and take her back to Australia. And he goes off to do this Firewatch thing. I was like, you absolutely can't. Oh my God, language, sorry. Oh God. The family take her and take her off to Australia. And he buggers off and goes and does the Firewatch. I thought to my head, what an absolute bad person. I'm trying to keep this PC as much as I can. I was so angry. I left the game. I couldn't get back to it. I started it again because I was jonesing for a game. My options were limited. So I played through the game, and it is a really, really good game. The graphics, everybody's played this game by now, or started anyway. The graphics are brilliant. The story is pretty good. The relationship between the characters is extremely good. I thought their character development was really, really good. And it leaves you feeling really weird at the end because there was like a relationship building, and he's going to go back off to Australia to look after his wife or check out his wife. But I really liked that game. It was really good. I also looked down for a short game that I could play on this laptop. The laptop isn't that it's not a gamer laptop. So I've started Far Lone Sales. I got that near launch. I put 20 minutes into it, maybe at most. I'm now over 2 hours, and I've only got maybe another hour left in it. But I'm really enjoying that. The atmosphere is really good. The graphics are gorgeous. I love the graphics in it. There's no story, at least none that I've been able to work out, but I'm enjoying the game. I really, really like the game. So that is about it.
And that one, I was just trying to remember it, and I can remember some kind of weird contraption with sails on the front of it as seeing the front cover, but I can remember exactly what game it was. I know the one you're on about now.
Yeah, it looks like a big tractor that's been blown on by sails, and you've got to chuck little sugar cubes of petrol or fuel to burn to get the machine going when there's no wind. But there's some puzzles there. They're not overly taxing. I don't think they're overly taxing, not yet anyway. So it has a really crap save system. So it just saves every now and again. You don't have an option to make a save whenever you want, which has frustrated me because I lost a lot of progress at one stage. But other than that, I really like the game. And that's about all I've played. So I'll pass you off to the person who's played a whole cornucopia of games. Ben?
This is, I say I've played a load of games. This is the usual me, though, of what have you played? Loads of small games. Just because of time this month with being away and work and things, I found myself in a bit of a lull last month where I didn't complete a lot. So I kind of wanted to make up. The biggest thing I did was finishing off Kino. We said last time you guys had finished it. I hadn't. I felt stupid. That sucked. So I finished that off. Absolutely loved it. It was as good as everyone, as you said. It was brilliant. So that was nice to get it finished off. I think I was literally about 40 minutes from the end when we finished the last podcast, and that was it. We had Ollie Ollie World, as we said, chosen between us as our group game. I played that and finished it, which I was quite chuffed with. Again, not a massive game. I think it was 5.5 hours to get to the end of it, but that is with getting like bottom medals on some stuff, because you get to the last 2-3 worlds on there and it's just massively unforgiving and it's all about stunts. It's pretty, I think about getting to the harder sections of Tony Hawk's, it starts getting towards that point, but in 2D. But massively enjoyable game and a cool little story. So that was quite nice. I know I'd ask you guys, how far have you got into that? I know you said it's not your sort of game, Brian, so...
Do you want to go, Paul?
Sure. Yeah, not very far. I managed to do about 3/4 of the first map, which was kind of like still a bit in training mode, really. I'm not big on jump puzzles, and I found it quite difficult to get into the flow of the controls. I can totally see why people would enjoy it. Great graphics, nothing against the game, just jump puzzles. I mean, it's not really what, but I suppose it is jump puzzles. There's a lot of jumping in it.
Yeah, it is.
A lot of timing, etc. If you got into the flow of them controls, which obviously you did, Ben, I would say I imagine it's fantastic. But after 45 minutes or an hour, it become more and more and more difficult for my style of play. Really, I just couldn't manage anymore. What about you, Brian?
Me, oh wow, this should be a game I like, but I couldn't even get through the tutorial. Like, there's early on the tutorials, there's a section about grinding. They're teaching you how to grind, and I'm not a grinder. Apparently, I could get to grind on one railing, and then you've got to do a jump over some sand and get to the next one. And occasionally I'd make it, and then I'd fail later on. And I just spent so long on doing that over and over again. And this is before my wrist started to hurt. Maybe I could blame that game on it. But
You probably can.
I spent over an hour on that one section, and I could not get through it. I will go back to it, especially hearing the game was only 5 hours long.
Yeah, it's not a biggie at all. I mean, it's good. It's not very varied, as you probably imagine. It's a 2D on rails stunt game to all intents and purposes, and they inject a storyline into it. You're going to become like the wizard of whether it is Grindvana or something, like a skateboarding god. But I mean, the grinding bit, it becomes like prevalent throughout like the whole second half of the game, and you need it for every single map. And then it gets you to try and link stuff by doing like bouncing on the nose on 2 wheels and then changing to another grind and stuff. The last map is insane, and you look at the score, you know, like, I'll beat these people who are the local heroes for it on the game character wise, and they're about like 7-8 times more points than you've got, and you're like, that's just going to take hours of just restart, which I did for the first few maps. I got golds and like top scores for probably the first 2 or 3 worlds, I suppose, really. But towards the end of it, it's like, I just want to finish this and enjoy it. It's like, and I like having my Steam Deck, and I don't want it to be launched from the second floor of my house as well. So just kind of the trade-off there, I think.
No, I liked the graphics. I thought the characters were really good. I did enjoy, I won't say the gameplay because that was begging me, but I was enjoying the game. I thought it has a really good restart button.
Yeah.
It's immediate. You're back starting again. I thought it was really, because that could become really frustrating. That was really good.
When you get to trophy hunting on it, you can press the button quickly and do a restart from the last save point you got to.
Yeah.
Or you can press and hold it to go back to the start of the map. But some of the things are like complete the level without falling off. And you're just like, oh, okay, right. Let's go and do it. Restart. And you get to one level, you're about 30 minutes into it, and it's like my playtime, like 50% of my playtime on this game is going to be this one level. So just kind of get to a point and you just didn't have to stop. But as a little like fun game that is very much just an indie sports game, I suppose. Really, it's pretty cool. I have enjoyed playing it. So stay at it if you want to, but don't feel you have to complete it if it like wants to make you want to throw stuff around, because I reckon it can do that as well.
I was going to say the save points were actually part of its saving grace for me. If it wasn't for them, I could have potentially given up after 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I had those little save points. I did find they were a massive benefit.
Yeah, on the harder levels, they are completely like the best bit about the whole thing, because you get to certain points and you've taken 7-8 attempts to work out the formation. You have to do everything in to get across it and to actually make the distance, and then you get to that save point like, right, great, I can go back. I don't care about finishing it first time, and it will be the reason you finish the levels, I think, as you say. So definitely so. Right, what else have I been playing? Parappa the Rapper Remastered. I'm not having a breakdown. That is a real game. If anyone remembers it from the PlayStation 1 days, it was a rhythm game about, I don't know, some kind of dog that wants to try and impress a girl who's a sunflower, and you have to do different things, learning kung fu, how to sell on a flea market and stuff like that. It's mental, but really fun. So that's been sat in my library since it came out, the remaster in 2018 or something. It's just been there since on the PS4, basically.
I think the guy who did the music for that was a big, is he a DJ or not? He was a music engineer over here in Japan.
Oh, was he?
They got him to do the music for it.
It doesn't surprise me.
He's a really creative guy, but he did the music for that game. So I'd love to play it.
It's good. The only thing I will say, level 4, when you've got to do, of all things, a cooking show, making a cake with a chicken. Again, I'm not having a breakdown. The game is flawed, so the music track to where you hit the buttons, the button sequence points are off by like half a second, and it's a coding error they never fixed via an update. So you look online and there's just people raging about it, and if you do it all in time, you fail automatically. But if you just bodge it up by like half a second on each button press, you can then complete it. But you literally have to do the whole game perfectly and then teach yourself to be completely shite at it to finish that one level to get past it and then go back to normal. So it's a little weird. But
no problem for me then. I'll shite at most games.
And the rest of it I did okay, but that one level was just a nightmare. But again, I wanted to finish it. It was only probably a couple of hours, because literally it's a rhythm game, so you don't expect too much from it. But it was pretty cool. It's good fun. I remember playing it at a friend's house on PS1 when he first got it. when I was like, whatever it is, 15, 16 probably, or something daft. So it's nice to go back to it. What else we got? For anyone who's played Burnouts, the Burnout games from years ago on the original PS2 and stuff, you would have the racing element of doing all the races in it, and then you'd have crash junctions on it, where you just had to cause the most carnage you could. Granted, I wasn't doing quite the damage this was, but the whole idea is, yeah, it's Three Fields Entertainment, I think they're called, the studio, which were a load of people who left, who are still Criterion Studios now, are owned by EA, aren't they, I think, or something from memory. But they made the original Burnout games. They kind of went off and they just made a game which is purely the crash bit, and that's it, called Danger Zone. That's, again, been sat in my library since probably 2017, 2018 when it came out. Played through that about 3 or 4 hours, but it's literally just carnage for 3 or 4 hours, and was quite nice to just sit in bed and do that last weekend when I wasn't feeling well. So I could just be angry at life for being ill and complete that. So that was cool. Raging Justice, which effectively was Team 17's attempt at making a Streets of Rage game. So side-scrolling beat 'em up. It's not very good. Don't play it. Don't spend money on it if you haven't got it for free. It's all right, but it's so... When you play something like Streets of Rage and that works so well with the control system, Raging Justice is just horrible. It's kind of very, very clunky. I can see where they were trying to go with it, but it's just not that great. I won't waste too much time on that. Abzu, ABZU, which effectively is you're a diver. I am assuming you're a little robot diver based on the storyline, but I won't open up to the storyline too much. But effectively, it's a swimming simulator underwater. It's 2-3 hours long. It's absolutely beautiful to play and watch graphically. Looks amazing, really, really does. And you just go around, getting to these checkpoints, picking up kind of relics that bring out different fish or something like that, of all things. And you build your way through this game, and it's just really relaxing. It was lovely. I sat and played it, the sun coming through the window in bed last Sunday, and just sat there for a couple of hours and just played it through in one go. Absolutely loved it. Great little game if you've got it kicking around anywhere to have a stab at.
I just checked. I have it.
I believe that's by the people who did Journey.
Wouldn't surprise me at all.
Yeah, or at the very least, a good few of their team, the ex-team members or whatever. But it's definitely, at the time, I remember it being discussed.
Oh, cool. Okay.
505 games.
That's interesting because Journey sat in there on our list, isn't it, for the wheel? So I have to admit, I looked at that a couple of days ago, fired it up, got to the start screen and thought, crap, that's on the list, don't play it, and turn it off again. So you may see I played it for like 5 minutes because I just stood at the start and went, there's a reason I shouldn't be playing this. I had to think about it. Yeah, so that's the Abzu was cool. Really enjoyed that. That might be my highlight for the month, just because it was so relaxing and enjoyable, and just like a nice quick experience. But other than that, we've been playing a full season for probably 30 hours over about a couple of months with my friends on F123. It's the only one I have access to on Game Pass as part of Year of Shame. And we finished that this week, and not to show off too much, I won the Manufacturers and Drivers Championship, and I was very happy with myself on that. That was good. Maybe that was my biggest.
Nice. Well done.
That was cool. It's an old game now, but it still plays really well. The AI is atrocious, and it makes Lewis Hamilton look like a psychopath. But other than that, it's pretty cool. It's really, really, really good fun playing it as a group. I think if you were to get more people on there and fit it out with more non-AI players, it would be a lot of fun, I think, for a thing to do. So I mean, I'd love to play the next one. 24's on Game Pass, but can't play it till next year. And I think 25, by the time we get to next year, will be on Game Pass. So hopefully the guys and I will get back on there. So I don't know if anyone else wants to join in as well, potentially, let us know. That'd be quite cool. Yeah, that's the games I completed.
Cross-platform.
Say again? Yeah, I think so. I believe EA made it so it is cross-platform, so it's console and PC as well. So
cool.
No, it's good fun. I enjoyed it. So that's the games I completed, and then I just played a load of random bits and bobs of new updates for Gran Turismo came out. I own a Honda CR-V, which is like an SUV and the most least Gran Turismo car of all time, probably, to be honest with you. They put a CR-V in it this month, so I painted it the same colour, tried to find matching wheels, and I now happily poodle around in my CR-V, which is great. That's fairly mental and unexpected situation, but that was cool. Have either of you heard of Oh Sir, the insult simulator?
No, it sounds interesting.
No, as it says, you choose a character and it puts you in different situations. For instance, you've stolen my train seat, you've stolen me a dead parrot, you've killed a guy in the forest whilst hunting by accident, and you literally have to insult each other via a choice of different insults and bits of sentences to make up. And you have energy bars like Street Fighter. And
that sounds really good.
It's absolutely batshit crazy, but it's a lot of fun. Again, had it for ages, and you can't help but go back and just occasionally insult people for a period of time, just to take the edge off life, I think, to be honest. But
If I could get the train insults, that'd be really handy, just especially if they're in Japanese, because Japanese people are extremely polite, except when you're trying to get on a train and they're rushing for a seat. They will just push anybody out of the way. Doesn't matter what age you are, like elderly people just getting shoved out of the way, while young teenagers are hopping into the seat. It's really almost animal, this race for the seats on the trains here.
There's a good character. They don't give like different language abuse on there, but there is a. No, I usually use this old lady who very, very politely insults people in a squeaky voice. So.
Oh, very good.
Other than that, in my kind of ability to find things which are simulators of things that probably were normal life or you shouldn't do, I've already done Arcade Paradise and run a laundrette. I now run a PC repair service in PC Build Simulator 2, which is absolutely brilliant. I finished the first one, probably about 100 odd hours into that, couldn't stop playing it. Paul Glasgow, one of the guys on Midlife Gamer, is into 2, I think, for at least 300-400 hours now, just building random PCs because there's a sandbox in it as well. So, I mean, it's a cheap way of building PCs without costing yourself money, which is decent. But I think there's 30 levels in the campaign mode of 2, and I'm level 14 now, I think, and I'm about 13 and a half hours into it. So I just installed it one afternoon and then didn't stop playing it. It just gets really addictive. All you're doing is fixing people's computers and building ones out of spare parts. You buy like secondhand broken machines and replace bits in them and then put them out the front of your shop and sell them to make money. It's literally just owning a computer shop, but it's insanely addictive. So that's where I lost 13 and a half hours this month as well.
Very good.
But I think that's it. There's little bits and pieces like Forza, like playing DuckTales for no reason for 10 minutes and stopped playing it, and a bit of the finals. But yeah, it's been a real mixed bag, but I did get some completions in there. That'd be me.
What else? What games have we missed from last month? Any games that jump out at you that you've missed?
The one I'd really like to play, probably, and there's been a few actually this month, I'd say the Claire Obscure Expedition 33 sounds like it'd be right up my street. And I've been listening to other podcasters, watching some on YouTube, and everyone seems to really, really, really like it. And he seems to have come from a good independent team, guy that used to work for Ubisoft allegedly, and he's meant to have made a good game, which is nice to see. And it's also not full price, and it's also available on Game Pass, which is a bonus always round, especially in these days at the moment where they're talking about £80 games, etc., which I don't think will ever really, really happen. Not in anything can have an RRP of £80. I mean, look at all the new Switch games that are coming out on Switch 2. If you take a look online, you can pick up a lot of them now for like 45 quid. You know, the Cyberpunk, various other ones, I've seen them all on hot UK deals. So there's plenty of them Switch 2 games that are already down in price before they even come out. I think they have to be in any case, simply because of the cost of the console. Who wants to pay £400 for a console and buy 2 or 3 games, £80 each? Just not going to happen, really. So, but yeah, it looks really good. Definitely my sort of game.
Yeah, I think all the press has made me want to play that game as well.
It's interesting because it's being spoken about in the game's great, the developer's done a really good job from a small team, and then someone else says the soundtrack and the score is incredible. It's like literally all different groups of people are all saying great things about it, which doesn't happen that often. You get someone who'll just say, oh, these group of people loved it because they played or something, but it's getting a universal appeal. I mean, I have to admit, I hadn't really even looked into it, but just purely because of that, I'm interested as well now. I mean, it's on Game Pass, so I'm lucky from that perspective. But it does look pretty awesome. It does indeed do a decent job of it. It must have done.
Did you say, Paul, earlier that they were from Ubisoft?
Yeah, originally, I think the main guy that heads up the team, he originally works at Ubisoft. I can't remember in what capacity. But yeah, definitely, there's definitely some chit-chat about him in the news about that.
It does sound like a really good game. I think the other game I want to play, because everybody keeps raving about it, especially on Veteran Gamers, is Blueprints. I'd love to play that game. It is free on PlayStation, but I can't play it. So next year, hopefully it'll still be on there. I can get to play it. That's an indie. Would Claire Obscure be classed as an indie, do you reckon?
Possibility. I mean, I think it's definitely AA, but regardless, I mean, it is an independent team as opposed to being one that's under an umbrella of another company. So I guess that makes them independent.
I was going to say, that they're talking about Game of the Year, would one of them be going for the Indie Game of the Year? Would it be just down to those two? So
it might win multiple categories. It could even win Best Independent Game and Best Game of the Year, perhaps.
And what a year to do this. And there's all these games coming out. No, it's not.
Yeah, some of the stuff has come out of nowhere, hasn't it? It's been these smaller games that they announced at, like, whatever it was, the PlayStation and Xbox things. They kind of gave a little bit of a trailer like about 6-8 months ago, and they've come out and they are phenomenal games. It's like there is a big weight of the things that are proposed to be these game-changing things that really are. I mean, South of Midnight, whereas Blueprints and Expedition 33, that's 3 games which were very much kind of short. Here are our partner games trailers, and you were like, oh, all right, then it's not first party sort of thing, and then they're amazing, which is great. I say it's brilliant for the industry, terrible for us.
That's it.
True.
No, screw the industry. Think about me. That's it. But
there's been a load of guys, I think, when I've been on my PlayStation, you see who's online. There's been several people playing Blueprints from MLG. I've sort of been on there. It's like, oh, you're playing it, and so are you. I think it was James Watley, I think, was playing it, I think, a couple of days ago. I can't remember if Joe Middleton was or someone else was. I can't remember. But there was a couple of guys on there. They come on there and these games pop up and it's like, you're playing it. I hate you.
yeah,
I can't.
Blueprints is one of those games you get as far as the credits going up and you've started the game. Apparently, there's loads more after it. So I don't know. I really want to play it, but maybe a birthday present. Maybe.
For me, I haven't finished Doom Eternal yet, but Doom the Dark Ages has just been sort of everywhere in the press and stuff. It's free with graphics cards. It's rammed up your nose every 5 seconds this month, but I do desperately want to play it because it looks amazing. I have so much time for those games. They are hard, they are unforgiving, but they're so enjoyable.
Yeah, I like the Doom games. I think Paul was mentioned previously that the jumping in Doom Eternal was a bit of a put off, and that did irritate me. So I don't know if that's in the Dark Ages one, but I love Doom, how frenetic and crazy it is. Chainsaw people just so you get ammo to keep going and stuff. That was really, really, I'm missing that as well.
Yeah, I think it's the problem is it's the front of Game Pass as well. Whenever you load up the Xbox app on PC, it's just there with this huge advert for you. Thanks for that. Appreciate it, everybody. Cheers.
If you had bought a new graphics card and it had come with the graphics card, I mean, would that be classed as one of your? I mean, obviously, you could. I mean, could you use that as part of your games this year, as in without using one of your jokers? Because you didn't pay anything for it; it just came with a graphics card.
Still a new title, though, isn't it? I think buying a graphics card would be illegal. To be honest with you, I mean, there's a few have popped up. The day the 9070 XT cards came out, I was 2 minutes early going to the page on Overclockers, and I got one in my basket, and I was like, oh, okay, hang on a minute. It's like, I've got the money. It's just like, don't do it. And I left it, and then like 2 minutes later, their website collapsed and all the stock went, and it's like, I could have had one. But
oh, no.
I'm being good. My computer isn't slow. I don't think you get away with it. I don't think you get away with it. It's still a game. It's still a game that wasn't in your library before January the 1st. So I guess, to be honest, in the grand scheme, what else has been weird this month?
I think next month you might see 3 graphics cards being bought.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Have you heard of a game called Roadcraft?
No.
Apparently, it's just like a big. All the games on there. There's a load of games that are made now, like Mud Runners and stuff like that came out a while ago. That were kind of off-road, like hill climbing sort of simulators in big vehicles. Roadcraft, I think, is made by the same people as them, but it's basically heavy machinery. And you go around doing stuff with like excavators and things like that. A guy at work's playing it and said it is the most addictive thing he's played all year. He got into the early access for it or something. But again, it's one of those stupid games that shouldn't be fun. But it's just like driving around slowly in something that flattens land. Okay, cool, sounds fun. It's like, I've been digging up stuff and putting like dirt into the back of trucks and things. And it's like, do you thought about going out?
Oh, God. Paul, we were talking about Nezzy. He was on Veteran Gamers actually earlier, and from Joysticks and Chill, he's put so much money into buying his Euro truckers and stuff. I'm not love to play in the rate, but I could not. I don't think I could sit there playing those trucking games or even the game you mentioned. I couldn't do that.
They are popular though. They're very popular.
You put on a podcast, maybe. Yeah,
they're so popular. I mean, I was thinking as well. I mean, someone probably has this. They've probably taken it to extremes of actually having electric windows and such like as well, perhaps. So, you can even wind your window down, have like maybe one of them proper honking horns or whatever. Maybe even get like a little CB radio in there, like be a proper trucker. So yeah, for sure.
I see people doing it.
There's some money to be spent there, but the relaxation, people seem to get relaxed, don't they? Doesn't seem to be, you seem to do it for relaxation purposes, these sorts of games. So yeah, fantastic.
There's a lot of people I've seen on like the race sim inside of things. They're same with the truck simulator, I think, as well. They're taking entire dashboards out of car and interiors, and then built like a Logitech or Moser, whatever it is, wheel into the dashboard, and it all works. All the dials work, everything. and you're like sat on a proper chair with all the proper stuff in between you. You're basically sat in a Volvo S60 playing a racing game. That's a lot of effort, guys. Or they cut cars in half in their garage and stick them to the wall, so you've got half of a car effectively and half a cockpit to sit in and play stuff on. I mean, fair play, but no, that seems mad. But
It is brilliant, though.
it is good.
Not living in an apartment. We couldn't get half a car in here.
What else is there?
There was Oblivion as well, which could have been a good game, I think. But thankfully, it seems to be more of a reskin, more of an engine upgrade, really, as opposed to, totally redoing the game in many respects. So, but yeah, it does look fantastic. I would certainly be wanting to play that if I had the opportunity to play it.
This is the character creation thing, isn't it? You can make kind of complete atrocities in that. That seems to be what most people have spent their game time, I think, on the last month. You can make absolutely mental looking things. But yeah, it's good. I mean, Oblivion, I know a lot of people who played the first one and they said it was pretty spectacular as a game. And they said, oh yeah, it's just a graphical polish, if you will, on it. But Oblivion was so good in the first place, they were more than happy to go back through it. So yeah.
There's been a lot of fan mods as well over the years. So although the game looks amazing now, if you perhaps had all the modifications, the fan mods that have come out, to upgrade the graphics over the years, in any case, some people might not see it as such an upgrade at all. They've already had all these enhancements and 4K textures and such like. So yeah, I mean, they said I've watched a little bit of Digital Foundry, and they were saying that the game's having some technical problems in the respect of frame rates, really. Even like a PlayStation 5 Pro struggling to keep at 60 frames per second, etc. So by the time we get to play it next year, that is exactly the kind of game that will have been fixed and sorted by next year, in the respect of performance and all the rest of it, because it's bound to be full of bugs. See,
overall, we're winning, right?
Definitely. Winners wait. That's what they do.
That's the title. There you go. Winners wait.
Yeah.
Well, else is there? Elden Ring gets its Night Rain expansion this month, doesn't it? At the end of the month as well. Is that right?
Yeah.
I've just gone quiet and put his head in his hands.
Oh God. I'm not a Souls game player, but I've really gotten into Elden Ring. It's a really good game. Just exploring. When I booted it up on the PlayStation not so long ago, the tension came back into me just from playing the game. I get so nervous about losing, but I just love exploring in that world. And I would love to try out this new game.
I own the original Elden Ring. I'm in my desk here next to my computer. There is my copy of Elden Ring, and my PS5 is somewhere at the other side of the house over there I'm pointing towards. That's because the closest it ever really gets. I haven't actually... I've installed it on the PS5 because it said, here, have a free upgrade to the PS5 version when I installed it. And I was, okay, cool. Which just kind of just sat there and looked at me going like, are you going to bother this time? I'm like, well, I might. Then I go and fix computers instead. That's the problem.
It is a really good game. A really good game.
It is. It's an amazing game.
Something I've got to get back to finish at some point whenever I'm able to play games again. No. Was there any other games that you're looking forward to then next month?
June's a weird one. It's odd because I looked at it and there's a top of a list. I think it was IGN I looked at, and it was just a sea of games that everyone's already played if you owned an Xbox or a PlayStation with a Switch 2 logo next to it.
Yeah.
It's about 20, 30 games. And it's just like, oh, it's Cyberpunk and Street Fighter and Sonic and Civilization and Hogwarts and Split Fiction and Fortnite. And you're like, okay, cool. Great. If you haven't had an Xbox or a PlayStation for the last 4 years, you're on for a winner. And you get the privilege of paying £60 for them.
Yeah, if it wasn't for them games, that schedule would be pretty limp, wouldn't it, really? There'd probably be about 10 games in there.
Well, it's Mario Kart's the biggie, isn't it? That's...
Yeah.
The only thing I'd be interested in getting a Switch 2 for would be that. I mean, it's nice that they're on there, but the other stuff is very much... It's kind of sad a little bit, I guess, maybe, because it's the console can now hack those in the format of a Switch, which is great because you can play them portable, but I've been playing most of those games portable on the Steam Deck since I bought it last year, and the people I've been before. So it's weird. It's good. It's great they've got a nice catalogue to go on the shelves with it. You don't want to have a paper launch and no games, but a lot of it's third party. After that, Mind's Eyes on the 10th, which looks amazing. But again, I'm trying to ignore it. It doesn't exist until I can play it.
I don't know that game.
That was kind of it almost feels a little bit, oh, goodness me. What was the Ubisoft game that had DedSec in it? That was Watch Dogs.
Yeah, good game.
Oh,
The videos I watched, like third person driving around and stuff, and the storyline on it, the bit I watched the video of this morning, kind of feels a little bit like that. It's very much a sort of an adventure and storyline driven game, as far as I know.
I liked those games.
I'm trying to remember. Mind's Eye. What was it about it? Mind's Eye is an upcoming 25 action adventure game developed by Builder Rocket Boy and published by IO Interactive, scheduled for release on PlayStation 5, Windows, and Xbox. It does look pretty cool. It looks a little bit GTA-esque, Wire. It's weird. It's kind of got elements of what looks like GTA, elements of what looks like Just Cause, I suppose, really. Like, if you look at the screenshots of it, it's got loads of bits and pieces, but apparently it's shaping up to look pretty good.
There's another good game on that list for June is System Shock 2, the 25th anniversary remaster, which would be a fantastic game. I'm probably about halfway through the System Shock remaster from a few years ago. Fantastic game, absolutely amazing. I totally missed out on it the first time around. So yeah, and also there's going to be Death Stranding 2 in June as well, which looks amazing.
26th.
Yeah,
it's probably that's probably the biggest one of the month, I think, isn't it? Launch wise,
I'd say so.
Must be.
Yeah,
that's the very end of it, 26th.
But it does look amazing.
Yeah,
there's a Tron game. Any idea what the Tron game is? Tron Catalyst, whatever that's going to be.
Well, it's that one. Quite a few.
Most of the Tron games I've played have been bad. They haven't been that good, to be honest with you. So I kind of just looked over it a little bit.
I think that's Mike Ethel, is it?
Just looking at Tron Catalyst, it looks a bit like an overhead isometric sort of game. You know, a bit like XCOM. It looks a bit, well, from first impressions, I could be completely wrong. It looks like an XCOM game. Battle multiple opposing factions in this latest imaginary story from Bet Hell Games. Thomas Was Alone, they released.
That's it, yeah.
It looks a bit XCOM-y, but it's not, because it's not turn-based. I'm watching a video of it now. Yeah.
It's a singular character as well, but it's kind of... is it The Ascent that came out a couple of years back? It feels like it might be a bit like that.
Yeah. That's another good game I keep meaning to go back to, but I've got that. I can't remember where I've got it on. I think I've got it on Steam. That's another good game.
I got the collector's edition for the PS4 for Christmas from my brother, I think it was a year or two ago. Another game I need to play. It was on Game Pass when it came out. It looked great. I played it, and then it disappeared off Game Pass in like 3 months. So I never really got a chance to get into it. And then a dating simulator called Date Everything. Take that, people. So, yeah, apart from that, it's quite a quiet month, actually. There was some more stuff on there, but it was kind of smaller games. I think it was the IGN page I was looking at. And Nash, of course.
One good game coming out for PC is Stellar Blade. I played it on PlayStation 5. It's getting a PC release. Excellent game. It is a really good game, graphically, storyline wise, and it's a bit of Dark Souls game. I played it on story mode, so it still was difficult. If you put on them difficult modes, it's definitely Dark Souls level.
So that and Date Everything, the games you play with just one hand.
That's it.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, the rest of it is 20. It's crazy. This IGN list. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4. Madness. It's all Switch 2 games, all the way literally to the bottom of it. Then there's Dune, as in the film series, Awakening. Is that the one that's the MMO they were bringing out?
I presume so. I've heard it's talked about. I see one of the YouTubers I watch, Reinfeld, his name is, I think. I don't ever watch the videos, but you always keep seeing it popping up on his, if you want to watch it, June 2. Pre-release or chatting about it or getting excited about it sort of videos. So, but yeah.
It's saying it's an action-adventure RPG game.
Dune Awakening.
That'd be alright.
Yeah. Explore, craft, fight, and build on Arrakis. Join a guild, uncover the mysteries of Freeman's disappearance, and rise to power with Atreides or... I can't remember. Okay. It looks nice, but it looks a little bit like Star Wars Outlaws that came out. Granted, it's going to be different to that in some way, shape, or form, but it's a bit weird. I don't know, it's one of those games that kind of got a load of like trailers and stuff for it, and then it just went very quiet. I don't know if it's because Outlaws didn't do so well and it's the same similar style of game. They were like, oh, right, okay, do we need to go back to the drawing board a little bit or something? Graphically, it's quite cool. It'd be lovely in January. That's it. And then, there's some more. Yeah, then it's on to July and August, which we won't go into now. But that's it. That's kind of that's the list for this year.
Yeah, strip out them Switch games and there's not a lot there really. Well, other than Death Stranding 2 and a few others, but it's But that's typical summertime gaming though for you, really. Ideal time to catch up on other games, but people are generally doing other things out there, out in the garden or going on holiday, different priorities at this time of year.
It wouldn't surprise me if we do end up with a backloaded year because of GTA moving. It'll just do a load of stuff's going to get released.
Oh my god. This could be really, truly the worst year to do this. Crushing realization.
It's going to be fine.
Yeah.
It makes them so much cheaper next year, though. That's the advantage.
Yeah, it's feeling that way.
I mean, for
definitely.
example,
very, very much. There's so much stuff.
Some of the games that I had purchased or had in my back catalogue before this began have already turned up on, the PlayStation Store, as a free part of your catalogue, etc. Some of the games I've bought. So imagine, like Hogwarts Legacy's on there, a few others. I'm trying to think of the other one that, the Dragon Age, they've turned up. I mean, this is going to happen next year. If you wait till next year, your PlayStation account is going to have some of these games for free on there.
No, it's great. I mean, what we had this year from PS Plus it's been a fairly decent PS Plus year. So, I mean, I just keep looking at stuff and thinking to myself, so much to play next year now. And I'm actually finding myself looking forward to stuff that's already just sat waiting, if you will, which is kind of weird. It's a nice thing to have.
Yeah. I mean, even all them freebie games on Epic Store. I mean, look at Dead Island 2. I mean, that is a great game. Anyone that turns their nose up at it, it might not be their cup of tea, but it's because it's free doesn't mean it's a bad game for sure. That's an excellent game for nothing.
Absolutely so. No, couldn't agree more. Definitely.
I should have asked earlier on, has anybody crumbled? Everybody's gone quiet.
No.
No cheating bastard. No.
No. No cheating bastard at this point. Assetto Corsa Evo just got another really good update though, and it's still 15 quid because it's in early access. And it'll be a 40, 50 quid game when it gets released. I was watching a video of it a couple of days ago, and my daughter went past and went, "What's that? That looks really good. The graphics are really nice on that." And it's like, "Is that something you would like?" And I'm like, "Yeah, but I can't this year." It's just like, we could get it if you as a gift though for Father's Day, and I'm like, just leave me alone. Don't. It's a really good idea, and I don't like it.
Yes.
So I may have a cheating bastard inadvertently next month.
Here's the 15 quid, go buy my gift.
Yeah, it might end up being a gift, and I get a cheating bastard inadvertently because my daughter's so kind next month.
Okay, move on to movies and TV. What have you been watching, or have you been watching anything? Go on, Ben.
I'll go first if you want on this. Quite quick. I haven't watched a lot of stuff. The main thing we've been watching, or I've been sort of subconsciously watching while sat on the TV, and my wife's been watching it, is The Devil's Plan on Netflix,
Okay.
which is kind of it's a Korean, almost like The Traitors sort of situation a little bit. It's like a sort of game show, but not. So they get like 20 people go into this thing. They're all hyper intelligent, and they have to do all these kind of mathematical and problem solving and logic challenges in this thing, and they get knocked out one by one after collecting these coins and stuff. I'm giving an overview because I don't completely understand it, but once you start watching it, it's really quite addictive. So she's been watching that. I've been joining in on it. She's just devoured the entire first season of it in the space of like a week and a half. And it turns out there's a season 2, which has just been released on there as well, which is just starting off. But that's been it's quite decent. It's nice to watch. It's kind of, you have to use your brain for it. Some of the stuff they're doing on there is just, you're trying to watch it at 9 o'clock with a cup of tea at night, and it's like, I haven't got time for this. I can't do it. My brain's asleep already, sort of thing. But as far as watching goes, I didn't think I'd enjoy it. It's pretty cool. Taskmaster Series 19, we're watching at the moment. The new one comes out. I know it's a proper Marmite show, but I absolutely love Taskmaster and just how mental and stupid it is. To be honest with you, it's fun, mindless television. If you've watched it before, Brian,
Season 19.
I think it is. Yeah, it's the latest one, 19.
I've not watched any of it. 19 seasons. I've never even seen it.
So the whole idea is it's a panel show. 5, or I think it's pretty sure it's 5 famous people go onto a show, and then Torn, if you know Alex Horn from the Horn section, who's a comedian as well, used to be on 8 out of 10 Cats and stuff. He sets them completely stupid tasks to try and achieve, which are just flawed and stupid in every single way, but makes them do it. And they go against each other to win points and get rated by Greg Davies and how well they do on it. It's stupid, beyond imagination, but so much fun. I absolutely love it. Great program.
Okay, I'll have a look for that.
So we've been starting 19 series. It's always good. The people on there are normally pretty cool as well. There's one of the guys from, if anyone watched it, Ghosts, the TV show that was on BBC like the end of last year. That was multiple seasons. The guy who's the poet on that is on there. If you've watched Brooklyn Nine-Nine, there was, I can't remember his name now, Pimento, the guy with the frizzy hair who is completely mad in that. He's on there, and he's just as bad in real life. It's proper funny, really, really good. So yeah, watching that. And What We Do in the Shadows, if anyone's ever watched that, which is like a fly on the wall documentary thing about vampires that live in, I think it is, but yeah, we didn't realise there was a season 4 and 5, so we started watching those, and they're still as hilarious as ever. So it's been a mindless TV month, to be honest with you, but not much of it. It's been more watching dinner. Well, eating dinner, we end up watching stuff like this.
Paul, how about you?
Yeah, I've been watching quite a bit. I found a real gem of a comedy show. We was looking through for something to watch, and I generally will give anything an episode. I'll give it a try. You've kind of got to watch an episode. If you really can't bear any more of it afterwards and whatever, you just move on. But I watched this one. Fantastic. Never heard of it, never seen these guys before, and it's called Fun Boys. And it's on BBC iPlayer. It's set in Ireland, in like a small little Irish town. And the gamers, the little 20-something gamers, and sort of within the first 5 minutes, they all sort of spot this girl they all kind of fancies. She's sitting at the bus stop, and they all go all a bit gooey sort of thing, you know. And anyway, it goes on from there. And I can honestly say there's bits in that show you would not think they would dare put on a BBC show. And it's some hilarious, funny moments. You really got to watch Fun Boys. I won't spoil it, but it is absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. There's only 4 episodes, and that's not because there's like one coming next week. It's just 4 episodes, and the actual 2 of the guys that star in it, they write it and direct it as well. So it really is their project. But anyone that doesn't laugh out loud at some of the end scenes on episode 1, there's something wrong with them. It's just absolute classic. And episode 2 as well, it's amazing. It's well worth watching. I watched that. I watched the biggest highlight for me, of course, was watching Leeds United be promoted to the Premier League, which was quite amazing. And especially the bus ride through the city centre. If you can, watch it on YouTube as they go through the city centre. Amazing. Absolutely amazing with that. You wouldn't believe the amount of crowd there was in Leeds to watch them drive through. So yeah, that were amazing.
Big season for them.
What else have I watched? I started another new show on Channel 4 called Virgin Islands. I've only watched the first episode, and it's a real-life documentary. I don't know if you've ever seen a show called The Undateables, which is where people that are quite awkward or might have issues about going on dates, you know, they get paired up and they go on a date, and, you know, it usually turns out pretty good, or, you know, but it's always interesting to watch fly on the wall sort of program. Well, this one's like 6, I think it's maybe 8 or 10 people. They haven't lost their virginity yet. They're all like 20-somethings, and they've all got some kind of anxiety or issue kind of thing. It's not funny. It's done in a very professional, caring environment where people that are hosting them are all therapists and that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But ultimately, sex is on offer at the end if they want it. So, you know, there's some of them that are just having difficulty getting over the hill. You know, like, so they'll start off with, like, say, touch therapy, where they'll be, like, really up close with, like, the instructor. So they'll just be, like, putting the hands on them, and, do you want to put your hand on me? Do you want to do this? It's actually really good. It's well worth watching. And as one guy, this is in episode 1, and he's just, like, he just feels as if he's kind of, like, missed the boat a little bit, really. And he gets to, the instructor is kind of explaining to him that, you know, that we can have sex. You know, it's fine. It is going to happen if you want to have it. And the glee on his face, you know, it was, well, they really were quite good. I mean, they're not going to be having sex like that particular session, but, and, you know, she's quite an attractive looking lady. These are all, you know, nice people, etc. But it's all done in a very, very caring.
Wait, can I just ask, is it with a therapist?
Yeah. Yeah, the person that's doing the touching therapy or whatever they're up to, like they were doing this like really sort of like heavy breathing and rubbing their face against their face and that kind of thing. It's well worth watching in the respect of just to fly on the wall, but it's all done in incredibly good taste. There's no like Mickey taking or, it's all, you're going to learn about people's reasons for not being able to get over this hill or whatever else. They're meant to. So it's not like for any reason that they don't, no one's forcing them to do this. This is something they're going for. But yeah, it's really good. So yeah, I highly recommend watching that. I watched another documentary called Con Mum, and it's about an English chef. True story, totally true story. It's a Netflix thing. And he was adopted at birth when he was probably, say, I don't know, maybe about 6 or something. I can't remember the exact date. But he was young, but, not so young that he didn't. I think he went into like care and stuff. And then he finally, he got adopted. Wonderful parents that had adopted him. Fantastic people. He had a fantastic upbringing. Very happy. But of course, as you would generally find with these sorts of scenarios, is that although he was adopted, he longs to know who was his real mother. And anyway, during COVID, it just pops up. This person contacts him, explains who she is, tells him certain things that only she would have known, so he ends up meeting her anyway. Wow. I mean, the things that happen in that show, it has a real twist to the tale because as the title says, Con Mum, you think certain things, oh, wow, what an idiot for falling for all this. But no, there's a good twist in that tale that kind of like spins it. And that is well worth watching is Con Mum.
Okay.
I watched Robert De Niro's film, Alto Nights. It was okay. I like a good Robert De Niro film. He plays like a gangster. It's a bit of a gentleman gangster, but it's based on a true story, allegedly. But the guy that, the area that he'd been looking after had been in prison for some time. He comes out and he's like the total opposite and rocks all the boat, whereas all the gangsters have all been quite happy, just doing their thing. But he comes in and rocks the boat. And another excellent TV show, Mobland, which is with Tom Hardy, Pierce Brosnan and Helen Mirren. Absolutely excellent. Pierce Brosnan, he got a bit of grief actually, based on his Irish accent in the show. I think to an untrained ear, it works well for me. I don't feel like it's fake, etc. He seems he's a bad Irish gangster that's got all like the wealth, etc. But I didn't realise this, but it's obviously probably become a knowledge. But Pierce Brosnan is actually Irish as well.
Yeah.
But he said he just hasn't spoken in an Irish accent for such a long time. But I thought his Irish accent was fine, but it seems to be a main criticism of the original reviews about how poor his accent was. But anyway, it's really good. Helen Mirren, which plays his wife in the show, she's totally unhinged. Totally and utterly unhinged. And the things that get up to it in that show is quite disturbing, really. Definitely would recommend watching that. What's the other one?
She's a great actress.
Oh, she's classic.
Very, very good. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you've got, to be honest with you, all of the co-stars, when you look at them, you will have seen the vast majority of them all in other top films or top shows. That really is a big one. He's by Madonna's ex-husband as well. Can't remember his name.
Guy Ritchie?
Yeah, Guy Ritchie. I believe he directs it. So it has got a lot of good, it really has. They've pumped the money into that show. It's got a good pedigree all the way around. And I watched one other thing as well called White Lotus. At first, I thought it was going to be like Lost, the TV series Lost, where you go on into a certain place and weird things happen. But it's not. It's all about a hotel and the way that it's run and the guests, etc., and how they all sort of interlink and the issues. I'd certainly highly recommend watching White Lotus. Quality ending. There's White Lotus season 2 and 3, and they're at totally different hotels, so totally different stories as well. So watched one more film, which was The Surfer, which was it's got Nicolas Cage in it. It starts off with him and his son going to go down to a beach to go surf, and he's pointing out to his son where he used to live, and he's going to buy that big house up there. Anyway, they try to go down to the beach, but anyway, the beach has kind of been taken over by the locals. And if you don't live around here, you're not coming on the beach. So anyway, it all gets a little bit odd from there. Like Nicolas Cage, his character is determined to go to the beach. He explained he used to live around here. His wife and him used to come around here, but they won't have it. And it's very much like a cult thing. And he basically ends up sleeping in his car and all kinds of things. It really is. He just goes absolutely downwards in his life at that particular point, sleeping in his car, all kinds of things. Yeah, it's a strange film, but very well acted and definitely worth watching, for sure. Yeah, a bit of a psychological thriller to some degree. But other than that, not been watching a lot else, but that was probably enough to watch in any case.
There's a lot of stuff versus me, definitely. I can manage like 2 or 3 series-ish. But that's cool. I wish I could sit down for that long. I really do.
Yeah, Fun Boys. Definitely check out Fun Boys. I can assure you, you must watch Fun Boys on BBC.
One never knows.
I have it set up, added to my list. Well, because I couldn't play games for much of the month, I've been watching a lot of TV and movies. So Stuart Ramage mentioned a TV show called Kettering Incident. It's from 2016. It's set in Tasmania. A doctor returns home after like 15 years being away, and it's a bit along the lines of The Dark, if you are watching that, the German TV show. It's really odd. It's actually, I thought it was better than The Dark. I'll say it's really quite good, but very odd. If Stuart is listening, there's some massive moths in the show. They're massive. I don't know if they're real or not. So I don't know if they have moths that big in Tasmania. They're just really weird. I watched a show called Yu Yu Hakusho, which is a live action version of a manga. Some guy dies and he's been give his life back if he becomes a demon bounty hunter. It's only 5 episodes long. It is just crazy. It's absolutely off the wall crazy. Quite funny. I liked it. It's worthwhile trying out. It's Yu Yu Hakusho. These are the shows I've watched and finished. I watched I'm Not Okay With This, which was a teen drama. I think it was in the 2020 it was done. It's a bit like a cross between Juno and Stephen King's Carrie. So it's like really witty teen conversation. And the girl she's got telekinetic powers. It was okay. It was greenlit for a second season, but COVID stopped it. So it ends on a cliffhanger. So I would love to know what happened afterwards, but no idea. And we'll never know. I finished season 3 of The Wheel of Time, which I'm hoping is going to be a season 4. Season 1 isn't good. Not that good. Season 2 and 3 are quite good. I believe the books have been re-released and much shortened. So I think that the TV series is based off those rather than the actual original books. I've finished season 3 of Dark Winds, which is the Navajo police officers in America arresting bad Americans. There's a guy called Zane McClarnon. I don't know if you know him. There was a TV show finished now called Reservation Dogs, which was based on an Indian reservation and some teens and their life on it. If you get the chance, that's a really good show. There's 3, maybe 4 seasons of that. It is really good. Have you heard of a TV show called We Are Lady Parts?
I've heard of it.
Yes.
So I've watched the first season of it. It's not bad. Some girls, I don't know what part of England they're in, they've set up a Muslim punk band. That
was it. I was trying to know what the premise was.
It's quite interesting. You get to see parts of like a lifestyle you don't know. I don't know much about. So it's quite interesting from that side, and it's funny, quite funny in places. Keeping up to date with The Last of Us, which is brilliant, really, really good. Getting to the end of that season 2, and then Andor. Have any of you watched Andor, the Star Wars show?
Guys are on about it at work, but it's just another one of the Star Wars things I never seem to be able to catch up on watching, ever.
I think I'm about 3 episodes into the first season, but...
Yeah, like every 3 episodes is basically 1 year. And when you go to the next set of 3, it's 1 year later. And that continues into each season. But the last 3 episodes have been released. I haven't watched them yet of the current season. But it is by far the best thing that's ever come out of Star Wars.
Doesn't have a link to Rogue One in some way as well.
Yeah.
Guys at work were saying, I watched it all, and then I went straight and watched Rogue One. And I was like, oh, well, Rogue One I absolutely love. It's the best recent Star Wars film for me. So it's kind of like, okay, well, I'm interested in catching up and having a go at it now, to be honest.
It's the background to those characters in Rogue One. So it leads into it. The storylines, they're not Star Wars. There's no waving of magic wands or anything, Yeah,
it's gritty the same way Rogue One was. There isn't a fade of like kind of it just being dark and the death involved and all that sort of stuff, wasn't it? That's what Rogue One kind of brought to it, I think.
Yeah,
the first time.
More human. I watched this really bizarre show called Creamery. That's CREAM. ERIE. Okay, if you've heard of this, it's set in the future. A virus kills most men, like old ladies living around the place, and they're all into wellness and stuff. And they're trying to keep the population going, so they have sperm banks, and they're giving out sperm to those who are worthwhile and keeping the population going. But when baby boys are born, they're dying off.
Is this where the terminology of the creamery comes from, by any chance? I was worried where it's going, and it has.
It gets They originally started off with three ladies, and they're working in a dairy farm. And you start to think that's where creamery comes from. But by the time you get to the end of season 1, there is a scene in it that's absolutely, if you can imagine, like rows of dentist chairs or those esports chairs. You lie back on the chair and you can play your game. But they've got a TV screen at the end, and there's men strapped into them. They're all naked except for one thing. And on the TVs there's porn playing, and there's a thing like it's a cross between a flashlight and a thing that's on the pumps that are on cows. Others attached to the men, and the men are all screaming, "Free me, free me!" It is just the most bizarre. Three ladies wrote the show, and it is really, really good. I have to admit, it's good. It's very bizarre, very fun. So that's Creamery. Go watch it. There's 2 seasons, and hopefully they're making the 3rd season. I'm almost finished. I've got 2 movies I watched. I watched Cleaner, the Daisy Ridley movie. Clive Owen. He's briefly set in London. The staff, when they were making the movie, they nicknamed it Die Shard. So that's basically a window cleaner. Terrorists take over a building, and it is really shit. It's dreadful. It's 5 out of 10 on IMDb, and I wouldn't even give it that. It's really, really bad. So try and stay away from it. And speaking of bad movies, the last thing I watched is a movie from 1985. It's called Life Force. Do you know this movie?
I remember the video cover. I've not seen it. The VHS cover for it.
It's sci-fi based on... Do you remember Halley's Comet? I don't know if you were old enough. Halley's Comet coming around, and you could see it in the sky.
Yeah.
It's based on the space vampires who have a ship that's in the plume of the Halley's Comet, and the British Space Force sent up a ship to go and to investigate Halley's Comet, and they find the vampires and bring them back to Earth, and it's just absolutely freaking bizarre. Patrick Stewart is in it. One of his early jobs. I'm sure he was doing it for the money, because there's nothing else in that show. And there's a guy called Peter Firth. He would be, if you ever watched Spooks, he was Harry,
yes,
the boss in that. Yeah, he's in it. He is hilarious. He's got some of the cheesiest lines of the movie. He's really good. I laughed my way through the movie, but it is a really good bad movie. So that basically is everything I've watched.
You guys have excelled versus me totally.
That's it. I've got one damaged hand, so I haven't got much else to do. What else? Questions?
What, from this month?
Yeah, have you got that?
We had one. I've got it here if you want. So Joe, who's keeping the question section alive. Thank you, Joe. I appreciate that, mate. So what we've got on here, he's asked, nearly halfway through the challenge, what have been your highlights so far? Have your gaming habits changed at all? Did you have managing a laundrette, arcade, or having a fairy farm on your bingo card for the year? Who's up first? Go on.
I don't know. Go on, Paul. You go first.
I'd say my gaming habits have changed in one respect, in that I've seemed to have dropped off FOMO. That's for sure. Previously, I would certainly have probably obtained a number of those games that have come out this year and let my pile of shame build up considerably more. Whereas now I'm just enjoying the back catalogue and enjoying games for what they are. One game I forgot to mention that I was playing as well yesterday was Akami, which is came out in 2007, but it was a re-release on Nintendo Switch, and I was playing that quite happily on Nintendo Switch, thinking about Switch 2 to some degree. I'm thinking, why would I need a Switch 2 when I've got all these great games on Switch 1? FOMO has totally disappeared. Normally I'd be frothing at the mouth to get a Switch 2, really, but no. So yeah, I'd say my gaming habits have changed in the respect of I'm happy with what I've got. No real need to go out and go buy the latest games. Even watching YouTube's obsessively almost about new games that are forthcoming. I generally, what I'll do, especially if it's a gaming review, I'll just whiz to the end and see what they said about it. You know, like the last 2 minutes of the review. Oh yes, it's an 8.5 out or whatever. Or yes, I really just go to the pros and the cons. I don't even bother watching the whole thing anymore. So yeah, my gaming habits have definitely changed. What about you, Brian?
Just a quick one. Thank you. Okami. I completely forgot.
Excellent game. I started playing it yesterday and I put another 6 hours into it. I started playing it in the garden at 4:00 and I took it up to the bedroom and played it in there till about 11 o'clock at night. Fantastic. I can't wait.
I've literally
Yeah.
just checked my Steam account and it's in there. Okami HD. So that's my deck getting unzipped. If anyone can hear that, but
Yeah.
it's not anything else. That's
Yeah.
His deck, DECK.
Yeah.
Getting
Yeah.
unzipped.
Unzipping as well, he said. Unzipping, yeah. I nearly missed that. Unzipping his deck.
You slap that there on the table.
Yeah.
Getting your deck out on the table. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh God, talk about being childish. My gaming habits, the 3 games that like this month alone, they would have added to the backlog. And then thinking of my backlog would have been just pushed further down. And as you say, I'm beginning to focus on games that I have. And biggest change for me is since 2020, I've been playing games that are action oriented. And I needed that just for this distraction from mental health and stuff. But I've started playing slower games and getting back into enjoying odd games that I've had for years. So I'm really pleased that I'm playing Far Lone Sails, a quiet game in which absolutely nothing happens, or not so far anyway, and I'm enjoying it, having no problems playing it. So it's shown me that I can get back to playing the games, weird games again. So I like that. That's been a big thing for me. Fortunately, that's about it really. But no, I'm glad that I've done this. It's actually helped me out. And Ben, how about you?
Yeah, I think it has made a massive difference. I did have a very, very big problem with just going out and doing charity bundles, and if something came out, I was like, oh wow. I think the FOMO thing is like, I've got to go and get it. I've got to pre-order it, got to have it now, sort of thing. But I've come to a point as well when you start playing games, you realise you're playing so many things so frequently, you're not going to get to the end of something. So the whole thing of completion this year has just been great. Looking back and thinking, I've done that, I've completed those games, rather than just thinking they're all just sat there. And I think the biggest thing is kind of knowing what I've got and going back to it, and all these games that I've had for years upon years. I mean, most of the stuff I've been playing this month is 8 to 10 years old, sort of thing, and I've just had it sat there collecting digital dust, if you will. I've just really enjoyed playing them and going back and thinking I've missed out on this, or I haven't actually bothered completing it. Even stuff like the old Dirt games. Dirt Showdown is now, whatever it was, a 2015 game, completely discontinued, has been removed from sale completely now because of the licenses in it. But on Maximum, on the deck, it looks absolutely beautiful still, and it still plays really well. Games like Absu, there's like finding kind of the joy of relaxing stuff as well. As you say, I play a lot of shooters or racing game or fast-paced stuff. So just games like that and sitting enjoying just with a set of decent headphones on and going through it. I've never really done that before, and that's great. I think it's been a real sort of turnaround in my style of gaming and how I deal with it. Highlights, I think, yeah, the old stuff have just been the highlights, I think, more than anything else. And going back to those, even the things I thought at the start of the year, I better have those on there, those new releases just before, otherwise I'm going to miss out. Probably haven't touched them. I've gone and played crazy stuff. For instance, managing a laundrette, as Joe says. I am kind of gutted that I can't have my own fairy farm. I've watched my 3 family members sat in the lounge playing it together, and my wife's at like nearly 100 hours into it now, and it's like, I haven't played that at all. It's like, I bet if I go and buy a license next year for it, you'll all be bored with it then. So that's a shame. So I'm going to have to find something next year we can all go together on, I think, as a group and play as a 4-player again. But yeah, I think for me, it's kind of a full turnaround. I mean, I did sort of the Year of Shame for myself last year and didn't really get the same effect as I have done from this year. So yeah, it's been cool. Really enjoyed it.
I've enjoyed it so far, but I am missing. Oh, fuck. Oh, God, I'm not going to buy Blueprints. I'm not going to buy Blueprints. I'm not going to buy it. I'm not going to play it. I already have it.
Do I need to go and find the alarm alarm sound effect for us for next month when you've broken?
Yeah, don't. I actually already own it. I don't need to buy it. Oh God. Anyway, no. Gotta hold off. Watch Death Stranding drop.
One-handed games. Yeah, one-handed games. Can you stand golf, or do you hate golf?
I'm not a big fan of golf.
Otherwise PGA games on the console is literally one analog stick for swing back and swing forward, and then the rest of it is kind of setting up the shot. So you could play that one-handed. I think it was Everybody's Golf when my little boy was born, so 12 odd years ago. Had a PS3 then, I think it was, and they brought the original Everybody's Golf out on that, and that was the game I found I could complete whilst having him sat on me fast asleep for like 4 or 5 hours in the middle of the night.
That's really sweet.
Then my wife could sleep, he would sleep, and I'd be just not making any noise. You have the PS3 controllers less on on the arm of the sofa and just doing like analog stick back and forwards. It didn't disturb him.
Yeah. Oh, that's really good. No. Like if Far Alone Sales, I'm just using it on the keyboard, just pressing A and D, and that's it. There's not much else you got to do. The odd time you hit space. Really good. Spin the wheel.
I have indeed. I can indeed spin the wheel. There we go. So I saved it with the names of the games on it. Right. So we have the wheel.
Oh, very, very cool.
Oh, wow.
So we still have, so what's on there? Little Nightmares 2, Overcooked, Sackboy's Adventure, Child of Light is on there, and we can get rid of Kena, actually. That needs to go. So we've got 4 left now out of the ones we had. Actually, Journey's still on there, but you guys have completed that, haven't you?
No.
Yeah, I finished. I'd probably play it again in the respect of I probably played it maybe like 10 years ago. So, yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, I'll quite happily start it, but I just didn't want to do it if it was one of the games we had on our list.
Was there meant to be should there be Little Big Planet on there, or is that on the list still?
There's Sackboy's Big Adventure.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
Yeah, Little Nightmares 2, Sackboy's Big Adventure, Overcooked, and Child of Light. So click to spin. All right, here we go. Little Nightmares 2.
Okay.
Oh, very
Have
good.
You guys already done that or not?
I started playing it. I'm about 2 hours in, and then we decided that we was going to do it between us all, so I stopped playing it. But I will say, fantastic. You'll enjoy it. Well,
Quite chuffed for that. Lovely job.
I'm looking forward to that, yeah.
I think I've got it installed on the PS5 already, so that's good.
yeah, very, 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 very good game.
A little bit of horror. I can probably deal with that much.
Yeah. No, that's a good game. So if anybody out there wants to play along, let us know on Facebook what you think of it, how you getting on, or send us a message. Okay, socials. Email yearofshame@gmail.com. Twitter, if you're still there, @yearofshame. Blue Sky, @yearofshame.bsky.social. Just search Year of Shame as one word. Twitch, Year of Shame. Facebook, Year of Shame as a group. And we're on YouTube @MLGYOS because somebody got tired of typing Year of Shame. Okay, talk to you later. Anything else they want to add?
Just one more thing, which bit of a shame, really. I listen to quite a lot of podcasts. One that I've been listening to for years, and these guys actually met doing the Year of Shame challenge, and that's Last Saved Loaded is coming to an end after 10 years. That's Colin and Justin, both, always a good listen. And they just decided after 10 years, it's time to close the doors, really, which is a real shame. I didn't think it was coming. So sad to see those guys go, and hopefully they'll potentially resurrect it, in, I don't know, a year's time when they decide, I'm missing kind of doing this sort of thing. But yeah, been a great show and always a good listen, so sad to see Last Save Loaded disappearing after 10 years.
Oh, that's a shame.
10 years, that's not bad.
It's a good run, really, isn't it, for a podcast?
It is. Well, yeah, and they started off on Year of Shame challenge, so good for them.
Yeah, it's work.
Do you see that Veteran Gamers hit 800 episodes weekly recently?
Yeah, they had an option, didn't they? I didn't watch the show before, or whatever, but you could literally sort of contact them now, and they were almost letting you go on the show if you wanted.
Yeah.
They were inviting, if you sort of said you wanted to go on, you could have gone on.
Yeah, I would have gone on, but time-wise, they moved it from they usually recorded on Sunday night to Saturday. They did it on a Saturday night, but I was busy. That's it. Okay. So if anybody is still listening, many, many apologies. There'll be more of the same next month. Okay, so goodbye from me and Ben.
See you later, everyone. Thanks again for listening.
Paul.
Yeah, and a goodbye from me. Thank you for listening.
Okay, see you. Bye.
Right.
Bye.
Take care. Enjoy your evenings and days. Ta-da!